Hello and welcome. I'm BluenoseLJ. This is my match reaction to the game yesterday. Everton losing 2-1 against Newcastle United at St James's Park. Now that's two defeats in a row, 3 games without a win, 1 point from a possible 9, which is disappointing, and it was a bad result yesterday. It means also that we've lost our position at the top of the table. We've dropped down to third behind Tottenham and 3 points behind league leaders Liverpool, which for Everton fans obviously is a disappointing thing. Now, I still think that overall, after 7 games, if you would have said to me that Everton would be third in the table, 3 points behind the league leaders on 13 points after 7 games, I would have jumped at that. I still think that Everton as a football club should be aiming somewhere between sixth and fourth, even, maybe third. But where we are at the moment is, I think, a really good position for us. So while the last 3 games have not been brilliant, they've been a bit poor performances, I still think that overall where we are is a good position for where we are as a club. So third position for me, I'm pretty happy with. Now, going to the game itself, it wasn't a brilliant performance, but when you look at the team that we put out yesterday, I've said it many times in many videos that Everton now have an 11 that is capable of competing with anyone out there, or anyone in the Premier League at least. But we don't have the strength in depth. And yesterday we had 4 players, 5 if you include Jordan Pickford, missing from our starting 11. Richarlison, Rodriguez, Coleman, and Digne. Now, if you take 4 players out of any team, 5 players, including Pickford, the goalkeeper, if you take that out of any team, I think that any team is going to notice that, and it's going to have an effect. Now, it affects Everton even more because we just don't have the strength in depth to be able to replace those 4 players. Now, if you take one player out of our team, I think that maybe we might be able to cope with that. 2 players, we're really struggling. 4, 5, no chance. We just don't have that strength. We don't have the quality to bring in to replace players like Coleman and Richarlison and Rodriguez. We just don't have it right now. I don't think Kenny is good enough. He was, he's coming back from an injury as well. This is his first game back from the injury, so I don't think we should have been expecting too much from him as well. Niles Nkounkou to replace Digne. Nkounkou was okay. He's still young. He's 19 years old. So again, we shouldn't be expecting too much from him as well. There is nobody to replace Richarlison. We don't have anybody of that kind of quality. You can't replace Richarlison. He's world class, and we don't have a world class replacement. And we're not going to have a world class replacement who's going to sit on the bench to replace him either. So you're going to notice when Richarlison isn't playing. Rodriguez didn't play yesterday, and we definitely missed that creativity. Now, the start of the game I thought was okay. We didn't really look too uncomfortable against Newcastle. They didn't really create too much. Now, they created one chance, which Olsen saved absolutely brilliantly from. And now I thought Olsen had an awesome game. Not to blame for either of the goals. You can't be at fault for the penalty, obviously. But he made 2 class saves, and I was really, really impressed with the debut that he had. It could have been 3, maybe 4. If it wasn't for Olsen, they probably, they could have scored 3 or 4. I don't really think they deserved that. I don't think Newcastle were particularly very good. They didn't really create that much apart from the obviously the penalty, the two chances that they had, and the goal. But we didn't really create anything at all. That was the problem. We had more possession, we had more passes, but they count for nothing when you don't create chances. We had a packed midfield, and I think that Carlo Ancelotti was kind of set up not to lose the game, or not to lose the game in the first 60 minutes and then maybe bring somebody on who could be, somebody like Iwobi or Bernard, who could maybe open up the game a little bit. But the midfield was quite compact. We had Sigurdsson and Gomez. I'm not really sure that they're going to work together. And obviously, we only had the one up front. We do need to have the two up front, and we just didn't really have the, like I say, the strength in depth. We had Tosun on the bench who came on, but he's just come back from injury as well. Sims is very young. So maybe we just did the best with what we had. The plus points, obviously, from the game was Olsen. Very, very good debut from him. If he is to play in the Manchester United game, it has been said that Carlo has said that Pickford will be back for that game, but I wouldn't have a problem if Olsen was in goal for that game. Very, very good debut. Two very, very good saves. Looks a decent goalkeeper from what I saw yesterday anyway. And obviously another positive is that Dominic Calvert-Lewin really only had one proper chance and took it. So back on the score sheet, even with a defeat and not a good performance, Dominic Calvert-Lewin gets a goal. So that for me is a positive. There weren't really too many other positives from the game, but it is what it is. We didn't have a full strength team. We've ended up with a defeat, which even with the team that we had out, I still think we had enough, or we should have had enough to get a point maybe. I think Delph, for me, is just not an Everton a top player anymore. He may have been at Manchester City, he may have been in the past, but right now I don't think he's good enough for pushing us forward. And we miss those players. That's just the fact. We don't have the strength. Carlo Ancelotti is going to have to bring in a couple of players in the next window. And I've said it on other videos that we're not going to be challenging for that league title this season. It's going to take a few windows, at least 2 to 3 windows. I don't think that we're going to be at kind of strength until after summer next. The next transfer window in the summer is when next season. I think after the window that we've just had, I'm sure that we're going to bring in at least 1 or 2 players in the January transfer window, and then another 2, maybe 3 players in the summer window. And next season, maybe we will be a force to be reckoned with. We will have a much stronger squad, but the likes of Bernard, who for me is a top quality player, but just is so in and out of games. So you just don't know who's going to turn up, the quality Bernard or the Bernard who really just can't be bothered. Or maybe it's just sometimes the game is a little bit too physical for him and he can't cope with the physicality of it. And obviously Newcastle are a quite strong side. So, maybe that's the case. Sigurdsson and Gomez just don't work for me. It's one or the other. Gomez, I don't think really had too good a game yesterday. Overall, I don't really think anybody had an awesome game, but it's just for me the lack of in-depth that we have, and those players that we were missing who are going to slowly come back. Digne will be back for the Manchester United game. Richarlison will be back for the game after that. So obviously he'll complete his ban. Hopefully Rodriguez won't be out for too long. We'll slowly get those players back and get the starting 11 back, and bring in a couple of players in January just to strengthen the squad and have somebody that we can call on when we do get injuries, and so it doesn't show up so much. Overall, disappointing result, disappointing performance. 3 disappointing performances now, really, if you include the Liverpool game, where we didn't really assert ourselves in the way that I think that we should have done. Let's hope that the Manchester United game is better. We're back at Goodison Park. Unfortunately, fans not there to make a difference, but we are still at Goodison Park. We are still at home. So hopefully with Digne back, maybe Rodriguez, I'm not too sure. Probably Pickford will be back for that game as well. We shall be a little bit stronger at least. And maybe we'll be able to get a better result, at least a better performance. Thank you very much for watching. Disappointing result, disappointing weekend. That's all I can say. Again, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. If you've already seen, I did do the draw for the first Everton football shirt that I've given away. I've done a video for that, and congratulations to the winner, Matty Johnson. Subscribe and to be kept up to date with my videos, and I've rambled on enough, and I'll see you on my next one.